So, for the start of the class, there's just some things that you might want to think about. How do you want your students to enter the room? Where do they need to put their book bag, their lunches, their supplies? And what do they need to get settled in? Now, on the next page is just some resources. These resources can really help you organize and think about how you want to set up your classroom. These are kind of like your action items that you can use to make it be more successful. And then on slide 4 are just some examples. And we'll just kind of keep adding to this. This is like a working document as we find resources or as we see things that work, we're going to add them to this list. I also want you to note that there are a ton of resources on here. You should not do all of these resources. So, for example, with teacher check-ins, you'll probably just want to pick one that works best for your classroom. Everyone has a different style, everyone has kind of a different classroom needs with their students, and you need to figure out which one's going to work best for you and your classroom. Okay, so again, don't use all of these, but they are here just in case something doesn't work or you're like, hey, I want to try that new idea out. Again, pick one and start small and then add to your toolbox. So the first thing right here is directions. These are agendas. And most of these resources have additional videos and explanations. So if you need additional help, feel free to watch those or reach out to Tara or myself. But agendas can really help bring the visual to your students. What are they supposed to do when they enter the classroom? What supplies do they need for the day? I like to use timers so students know, hey, we're going to start in 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to get quiet. You have 5 minutes to get your entrance ticket done. And then you have 5 minutes to silent read or turn something into the basket. So again, you're able to create these and design them for your own class and what you need. This one just has a bunch of other examples of agendas. So if you're just looking for different ideas, these are from most of them Slides Mania. Some of them I designed. So again, you're looking for different things. There's a ton of different templates here that you can use to customize for your own classroom. Another idea is Buzzwork. Also, kind of spiral review goes together. So with Buzzwork, students walk in and they can see this up on the board. And so they know the expectations, they know what they need on their desk. There's an SEL check-in for them to do, and then there's some type of reps. I love reps. These are spiral review for students. So for this one, they need a paper and a pencil. And what a rep is I got this idea from Math Reps. So right here is a website. If you're a math teacher, your work is pretty much already done. They have so many resources on here already created that go over the different standards for math. So you'll just find your grade band and then you can customize this to fit your students. Also, because of these already made and they're pretty easy to use, you can go in and I can say, okay, this student is going to work on this standard, while this student, their data shows that they need to work on fractions. So I can customize these different math reps or spiral review to really start to differentiate and help my students master some of those concepts that they're struggling with. Over here are just some examples of like social studies reps because I think they can be used in multiple different grade levels or subject levels. So here they have the longitude and latitude, and the students have to figure out what place this is, what's happening, what's the human interactions, and then they're going to illustrate their region. Again, you can print these out or you can have the students do it digitally. This one's using vocabulary. I might provide the students with an example, and then they have to figure out the vocab word. They have to do the definition, illustrate. And again, they're doing one of these every single day. And so they're really going to start to master that concept. This one, it might be a question of the day where they're working on CER. ELA, I might have them write every single day using 8 parts, which is another edgy protocol. This is an example of math reps. And then here's just some SEL ideas. Okay, so these reps, again, can help with getting your students to think about all the things that they need to do. And if they finish early, I have an activity for them and an expectation for them to do. There's no questions. I'm able to check in with students and they're able to complete this all on their own silently. Now, the first time I introduce this, I might want to introduce it whole group with my students. Here is a video that goes over more on Buzzwork. Next is classroom jobs. My students might come into the classroom and then they might do their classroom job. For an example, if I have a student and they're the gardener, they're going to go ahead and water the plants or move them to the window or open up the window, whatever they need to do for that plant. If I have a student that is the librarian, they might go and organize the library real quick. So, again, I'm going to set that timer and they might work on these different jobs while we're getting ready for the day. Supply manager, line leader, second in command. So, all of these different jobs can really help organize my classroom. This right here is a community challenge. For example, my students might have an activity and they might have to complete some type of activity on this board. So it's going to be covered up and then they have to remove it. And it says, offer to help two classmates today. That is their goal. And they could use maybe some of that morning time to do that. Teacher check-ins are huge as well. As my students are working on spiral review or their agenda, kind of their to-do list, getting the class started, I could check in with students. So if they need to meet with me, I could have this sign-up sheet, and maybe at the end of the last period, they sign up with me, they put questions, feedback, and then I am able to meet with them one-on-one. Here's another example using the waiting room. And then I can serve my students and call them up, which as they pick numbers and as they're kind of waiting for me. So that's just another idea. Again, I would just pick one of these. I would not do all three. Classroom Q is another example. It's a website and students enter a code and then they sign up to meet with you, and it's like a line that they have. And then SEL check-ins. This is a great time to check in with students. This folder right here has a ton of examples that you can use in your classroom. So these are ones that I've found on Twitter or have created myself, but just lots of different ideas in this folder. I might do a which type of person on a scale type check-ins, this or that, would you rather type questions. And then also I might start the day with mindfulness. I might use the Calm app or Headspace, and those are free for educators. Once you kind of think about these questions and review some of these resources, now you're ready to create your SOP. You might want to lay this out so that students can see it and it is clear and students know exactly what the expectation is. An exam, again, you can use paper like this anchor chart, or you can use a digital version on Canva, Google Slides, or however you kind of want to create your SOP for the morning.